Yeah, we're of course, really frustrated by the result. I think there was lots of good things in the performance. No doubt that we started really, really well. Should have been ahead. I think we were the better team in the first half. A couple of home games in a row that we should go in with, a lead really on the balance of play and on the chances, and we go in with a deficit. So we're frustrated by that. There's no doubt that their execution, whenever they got their big moments around our penalty box, was better than our execution whenever we got our big moments around their penalty box. So that was the difference between the two teams. I think there were so many good things about the performance. There's so much growth on the pitch. There's a lot of growth still to come. But of course, it's a stage of the season where, we'd like to have points on the board, and it's a game that, we certainly could have had some and could have been different. But it's gone against us, and we don't get anything for that.
How frustrating is it then that you had those big chances early? You talked before the game about finest margins, and you were allowed some, particularly down that left hand side, to kind of put the ball, help with the ball on the other end. It must be so frustrating. That.
No, of course it's frustrating. It's a frustrating game. But it is what it is. We can't feel sorry for ourselves. We have to work to improve. I think we have improved in many aspects. I know we've had a difficult loss, so it doesn't feel like that. But I know that we have, I believe, very, very strongly in how we're working day to day. But also it's clear that, margins have went against us too often. I think we haven't had anything that could resemble luck in many different aspects this year, but also, our execution compared to the opposition execution hasn't been at the level quite often, and small margins have went against us in games and moments in games that have took away from us. So yeah, it's frustrating. Again, it's not a stage of the season where we want to talk about growth or performances or pride in the performance, because we want the points on the board, but at the same time, we can't lose patience with the good things that are going on, and I know that they are there, and there's evidence of it on the pitch, and I see evidence of it day to day. So we got to keep work to improve and see where it takes us.
Defensive, would you like to see a bit more cuteness maybe? I mean, something allowed to drive into the box. Would you rather the players take the foul? Maybe that's perhaps not the way you'd like the game to play, but would that have helped perhaps?
No, it wasn't situations for me that should be fouls. Two situations that we should do better in, no doubt about that, both in defending the individual actions and then the covering of those actions. Again, you talk about margins going our way. We've got, our right back missing today for 2 yellows. We're making 1 foul in the first half of a game. That means we play 50 plus extra time last week with 10 men, and then we have to make another change to our back line today, which in our position, of course, makes it more difficult. And that was a challenge coming into the game, and we didn't defend those situations well enough in the first half.
I did say just seeing you at the end of the game, and you've gone all over to the fans, and you've got that brilliant reaction from them, of course. But how are you taking this? Because it must be quite demoralising, given that it's only got 1 win at home, but you've got that huge support, especially in before kick-off. We heard how crazy it could be.
I'm fine. The support's, is really appreciated. We don't take it for granted. Not every club gets it, but I also know the supporters know the journey that the team's been on, and we can get bored of saying it, but that's the reality. We know playing Tottenham at home is a big step. 5 years ago we were in the middle of League One, and they were in the Champions League final. It's been a really quick rise to this point, which makes it a challenge. But I also think there's the supporters are clever enough here and honest enough and balanced enough to see a lot of good things on the pitch today. There's a lot of things to take pride in terms of how we're going about it, in terms of many of the performances, individual level, some of the young players on the pitch, the growth that we're seeing, and as a team that we're doing so many good things. There's a lot of different ways that we can lose to Tottenham Hotspur as Ipswich, a lot of different systems, styles of play, everything that would still have the same outcome. But I think the supporters are taking pride in some of the things that they're seeing. Of course, they're frustrated, like we're frustrated. We can't work any harder, so we just got to keep working as hard as we can and work as smart as we can to get better. And the support that we have behind us is fantastic, and it's it's always appreciated, and we got to keep earning that support as well.
I guess to make that Spurs Wolves win today as well. I don't know if you looked at the table yet, but it's 5 points. Goal difference comes into it. 12 games to go. You still believe?
Yeah, no doubt. And we will while it's possible. Look, it is what it is. They picked up a good result today against 10 men with an early red card with a VAR. These are really, really small margins in football. And they haven't went our way this year. I think, this, of course, everyone probably thinks that, but, I don't think anyone could say that we've had any sort of fortune or margins go our way too often. So yeah, it is what it is. We know we got a big challenge to stay in the division. We know we're going to have to pick up points at a greater rate in our last 12 games. I believe that we can pick our points up at a greater rate for sure. I feel that, there's improvement in the team. We're still in a period, and I know it's frustrating again to say, but it's just the reality of the situation and how it's been that, you still got a couple of players making home debuts today, and that's been almost the case right through the season. We've not been able to settle on relationships and partnerships on the pitch too often, but we got hope for better margins and luck on some of those things in the run-in, and keep doing the good work and push for improvement and turning margins our way. And I believe that we can pick up a good amount of points in the last 12 games. Of course, when you're in this position now, it's not in our hands. So if other teams win all their games, then, we can't control that. So we can only do what we do. And that starts with Wednesday night, big challenge. We've got to pick ourselves up after today and go there. And that's, a game to really try and take on.